Chapter 3. How did your parents pick your name? I've always thought that I was named after two movie stars. Recently, I asked my cousin Joyce to refresh my memory. She confirmed that my mother followed a couple of movie stars and always bought the magazines about the stars every time she saw a new one on the rack. The two stars were Dennis Morgan and Alan Ladd. Dennis Morgan had some really top movies in the early 40s. They were Christmas in Connecticut, Cheyenne, and The Desert Song. I'm sure just about everyone has seen Christmas in Connecticut since they put it on many times around Christmas each year, even today. Alan Ladd had also been in some great movies back then like The Glass Key, This Gun for Hire, and The Great Gatsby. I thank my mom for giving me these names, and I doubt if my dad had much to do with it. One more thing. When I was working at the Eisner store on East Main Street, back in the 60s, I met a guy who delivered dairy with his truck about 3 times a week. I managed the dairy department, so he and I would unload the milk and cheese, and then we would go to the Steak and Shake for lunch. His name was Warren Ader, and he lived in Decatur. I know, it rhymes. He and I became very good friends, and he invited Marilyn and me several times to his house to visit. We would take our precious little Michelle with us after she was born. He and his wife had a boy and a girl that were probably 6 and 8 years old. One day he came to deliver his dairy order, and he told me that his wife Joyce was expecting. Later that year, when the baby was born, he told me that they had named the boy after me, Dennis Allen Ader. Wow, he wasn't named after a movie star. He was named after me. The sad part of this story is that when Dennis was in his early 20s, he died from AIDS. Several years later, Warren passed, but Joyce and I continue to exchange Christmas cards. It always makes me so sad to think about what happened to their Dennis Allen.